Hi, everybody. Welcome to English Digest. I'm Tom.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
And also, welcome to the month of September. Today is the 1st of September, and I think some of you have probably already started school. Maybe some of you haven't yet, but it's a good time to start learning various things, including English with us.
Yay!
And today we're going to talk about a possible career you might consider after you graduate from high school or university. Pet sitting, or being a pet sitter. I suppose it's not really a lucrative career, and you're probably not going to make a fortune doing it, but maybe you could do it for a year or two just for a little experience.
Yeah, and maybe you really do love animals, and perhaps you're thinking of going to veterinarian school, where you learn to be a vet or an animal doctor. This is a good way to start out, I think. It's kind of a fun word. Pet sitter is kind of like babysitter, but you are definitely looking after other people's pets. We're going to read through the article first, you guys, and then we'll be back. Pet owners experience the love and companionship their furry friends provide. However, there are times when we have to leave them behind for trips or vacations. Fortunately, pet sitters can take care of them while we're away, ensuring they remain happy and healthy. Pet sitters look after pets in the pet's own home, feeding them, exercising them, and giving them company. Additionally, pet sitters may also give the pets medicine and clean up after them. Pet sitters play such an important role in guaranteeing the well-being of beloved pets. For one thing, pets tend to be more content and less anxious in surroundings they've gotten used to. For another, hiring a pet sitter helps maintain the pet's regular feeding and exercise routines, while also reducing their chances of getting sick. Becoming a pet sitter could be an excellent option for those who are passionate about animals and already own pets themselves. However, relevant background knowledge and skills are still vital. While there are no specific certification requirements for pet sitters, some agencies offer training and courses, such as animal CPR and animal first aid. As the number of pet owners grows, so does the demand for skilled pet sitters. As long as people continue to cherish their furry friends, pet sitting will continue to be a viable career option.
Okay, it's time for us to explain the contents of today's lesson. We're talking about pet sitting, the perfect career for an animal lover.
Oh, that was good, Tom.
Yeah, I think cats kind of purr that way. I'm not sure if everybody is familiar with that, but cats make various noises. Some people don't really like cats, but if you are a cat lover and you've got a friendly cat, sometimes when they're happy, they will start to purr, and this kind of a pleasant sound, and it's been proven to be calming for certain kinds of people when they hear a cat purr. And in any case, this is a perfect career for an animal lover if you like animals. Hey, being a pet sitter may be just the job for you.
Maybe. Not for me. I must confess I don't love cats. I had a cat growing up, but, he was kind of fun to play with. He wouldn't sit still and purr on your lap, that's for sure. But we loved him. He lived outside because my mom said that's where animals live, outside. They don't live in the house. So my favorite pet is a dog, so I might be a dog sitter. That would still, I think, be included in this, though. We're just talking about pet sitters in general. Hey, maybe someone has a gerbil or a bird, and you could go and watch those animals while their owners are gone. Who knows? So, yeah, pet owners experience the love and companionship their furry friends provide. Companionship is just being friends with somebody. As people get older, they sometimes want the companionship of a pet. Maybe their spouse has passed away already. Elderly people love to have somebody there near them, whether it's a person or a pet. It can be comforting.
It surely can. And yes, if you do have a pet, you like their companionship when they're with you. You don't feel lonely, and they provide that companionship. If they're friendly, of course, cats don't always do that. Sometimes they're kind of independent, and they don't really pay any attention to you. So maybe a dog would be a better bet there because dogs seem to love their owners no matter what. And here it goes on to say, however, there are times when we have to leave them behind for trips or vacations. That is true. Sometimes we got a business trip down to Kaohsiung, or we have to fly over to Hong Kong or something to meet with a client or something like that. And we need to leave our pet behind. Now, I do know that there are pet hotels or pet motels around that you can drop your pet off at and pay a fee for that. But if you want someone to come to your home and not have the pet go through the trauma of going to an unfamiliar environment, then a pet sitter might be just what you're looking for.
They're also in cages if you go to a pet motel or a pet hotel. But yeah, fortunately, pet sitters can take care of them while you're away, though, but they'll be staying at their home. You'll invite the pet sitter to stay with you in your own home and take care of the pets that way. This will ensure or make sure the pets remain happy and healthy. If you remain, it just means you continue to exist in the same condition, or you just continue to exist. You could also remain in a place and not change locations. Maybe you've got a meeting and you're going to meet at a restaurant and you finish the meeting and your friend says, I'll just remain here for a couple more minutes. I want to use their Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they will remain happy, or they'll just simply stay happy. They'll continue to be happy and healthy. And pet sitters look after pets in the pet's own home, feeding them, exercising them, and giving them company. So these are some of the things that a pet sitter is expected to do. You need to look after the pets. You need to take care of them, and you need to feed them, of course. The pets get hungry, so you need to give them food, and also you need to exercise them. Cats like to play, so you need to have some cat teasers around to give them a little bit of exercise, or you can take the dogs for a walk because they like that sort of thing. And also you need to give them company. Of course, animals, especially dogs, get very lonely when no one else is in the house, and unfortunately that means they're going to start barking and they'll disturb the neighbors that way.
Oh, yeah. I can tell you that that doesn't make for good neighbors if you have a dog who's barking. Drives neighbors crazy. So additionally, you might be asked to give the pets medicine if they have some sort of medical condition. And sometimes, especially if they're puppies or kittens, you'll need to clean up after them. Older pets also have little accidents, we call them, where you have to clean up after they've gone to the bathroom on the floor where they should not have. So be prepared. You've got to do all these things because you're really taking care of them. And nobody else is. Your owners are depending on you to take good care of the pets.
They certainly are. And of course, sometimes it's kind of tricky to give a pet medicine, especially dogs. You need to put the pill inside a piece of meat or something so they'll chomp it down and they won't know about it. But some dogs are smart. Hey, I know you're trying to sneak that pill in, and they spit it back out. So that can be a challenge. Now, moving on to the next paragraph here, it says, pet sitters play such an important role in guaranteeing the well-being of beloved pets, or beloved pets. You can say it both ways. They play such an important role, a really important role. They want to guarantee the well-being of those loved pets, beloved pets, or beloved pets. So if you guarantee something, that means you make sure that something happens. And, of course, this happens a lot when we buy things. Satisfaction guaranteed, or your money back. If you're not satisfied with this product, hey, you can return it for a full refund.
Wow, I love those guarantees. Well, for one thing, it says pets tend to be more content. If you're content, you're satisfied, you're happy. That the same word can be pronounced content, which is a different definition. That just means what's inside something, the content of the lesson that your teacher's giving, or the contents of a purse or something like that. But here it's content. The stronger syllable is on tent. And just, you're really satisfied. You're pretty happy with what's going on. And they tend to be happier and less anxious or nervous in surroundings they've gotten used to. Your surroundings include the area that you're in. It could include the stores. It could include the people. It could include a lot of things. So I love the surroundings of our office here at 空中美语. I love the neighborhood. I like the people around here. It's very nice. I love the surroundings. So pets will be happier if you can keep them at home.
Right, and also if you're a freshman in college going off to university, it takes you a while to get used to your surroundings in the university, the campus buildings, the town, etc., etc. And so the pets are going to be more content, they'll be more happy, they'll be more satisfied if they can stay at home, and then the pet sitter will go there so the pet does not have to leave the house. And for another, notice at the beginning we said for one thing, blah, blah, blah. That's the first example. And for another example is hiring a pet sitter helps maintain the pet's regular feeding and exercise routines while also reducing their chances of getting sick. So this, of course, is an advantage to having a pet sitter come over and take care of your dog, your cat, your goldfish, your turtle, or whatever. And yes, indeed, they continue the pet's regular feeding and exercise routines. So the animals, of course, are used to these things. And if they're not getting their meals at a certain time of day, they can get very upset and start barking. Or if it's a cat, it can start scratching the sofa or whatever. Or they can pee on the furniture or whatever. So if you give them their food when they expect it, then they'll behave themselves. And also dogs, as you know, expect to be taken for a walk probably once or twice a day.
Yeah, they'll let you know if they're angry with you. That's for sure. We had a dog when I was growing up that knew dinner time was always 6:30. It didn't matter if it was winter or summer. He would always... It was probably because my mom would be in the kitchen cooking our dinner because Dad would come home around that time. And so he would start barking and she'd have to open the window and she'd throw a pie plate at him to make him be quiet. And he'd be quiet. He knew that people were paying attention, but he wanted to let you know, I know it's dinner time. And if you don't feed them on time or exercise them the way that they're used to, they will let you know they're not happy. Right now, we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher explain a little bit more, and then we'll be back.
听众朋友大家好，我是安娜。我们今天要来带大家看一个新兴的职业，叫做宠物保姆。不过我们这个文章啊，要设计成为一个综合测验。那综合测验呢，现在新的趋势通常都是以字词为主。那如果一篇5题的综合测验，通常会有1题是有点类似像文法这种感觉比较困难的题目，所以我们待会也会针对第2题来做比较详细的讲解。好，那当然一开始呢，我们就看到宠物主人其实一定会很 enjoy 很喜欢宠物所带来的爱还有陪伴。不过有时候真的就是因为有事嘛，所以一定要找人来照顾。我们来看一下第一段的第1句哦。在第1句当中，其实有一个限定用法的关系子句，但是省略了关系词，也就是所谓的关代。先行词是 the love and companionship， 后面呢省略的是which或者是 that，带了一个限定用法的关系子句。那为什么可以省略呢？因为 there 一直到句尾这个关系子句当中啊，我们找到了动词 provide， 后面的受词其实就是这个先行词爱跟陪伴，所以当关代是本身关系子句当中受词的时候，它就可以省略哦。那这个时候就要特别注意，其实句子有带一个关系子句。好，那当然接下来呢，我们看到第2句也有限定用法的关系子句耶，可是这个时候 when 就没有被省略了。先行词是 times， 就是有时候啊，而限定用法的关系子句从 when 一直到句尾的地方，限定是哪些时候需要有所谓的这个宠物保姆的时候呢？接下来到第1段的第3句，我们可能特别就要注意这里的 while。 while 我们的认知从国中大概就是 while 跟 when 一样，代替的是时间，当什么什么时候，然后经常会跟进行式并排在一起。可是 while 本身也有然而的意思，甚至有虽然的意思。不过还好呢，在这句话当中 while we're away 在语义上的确是 when。 我们待会在第2段跟第3段都还会提到 while， 我们再从头来整理一下。不过接下来这个第3句呢，就特别强调到我们刚才说在综合测验里面有时候会出一题的所谓文法题，在这里我们看到给我们选项是一个动词叫做 ensure， 确定某件事情会发生。所以第3句，当主人不在的时候，他们就会找到 pet sitters， 宠物保姆，而这个宠物保姆呢，就要确保他们的宠物可以很开心，然后很健康。不过在这里，我们为什么要选 B 的 ensuring 呢？因为其实在逗点之后，应该会有一个补充说明的关系子句。那么这个补充说明的关系子句，本来原本还原应该有一个 which ensures， which 代替的是逗点整句话，也就是说，宠物保姆可以照顾宠物，当主人不在家的时候 which， 而这件事情 ensures 就确保了宠物可以很开心又健康。如果我们今天要简化句子的时候，关带 which 省略掉，后面的动词就会直接改成动词 ing， 所以在这里应该要选 B 的选项。那么 C 为什么不行呢？因为补充说明的关系子句打了逗点之后，只能用 which 或者是 who， 不可以用 that。再加上后面的 ensure 也少了 s， 所以 C 是不能选的。这里是第1段，大概就是在谈宠物保姆做一些什么事情呢？那当然到第2段当中，我们有提到宠物保姆其实是在宠物的幸福健康方面是扮演非常重要的角色，这是第2段第1句给我们主要的大意。不过接下来就解释为什么宠物保姆会这么重要呢？我们在第2段看到结构上有2个很重要的转成词语，出现在第2句句首的地方 for one thing， 跟第3句 for another。读者不妨把这2个很重要的转成词语框起来，因为它代替的，它要提点的就是说明2个原因。For one thing， 其中一个原因如何如何 ；for another， 而另外一个原因又如何如何。当然，第2段在最后第3句的地方，中间的逗点之后又出现了一个 while， 在这里的 while 呢，还是 when 的意思。我们刚才在第1段第3句有特别提到这里的 while， 因为在第2段第3句这里的 while 其实它是一个连接词保留的分词构句哦。在这里的 while 除了是 when 的意思之外，后面的 reducing 其实本来应该也有 it reduces 这个含义，所以当它降低了所谓宠物生病的机会的时候，宠物保姆就变得很重要。
We're going to take a quick break. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Okay, let's continue with our lesson. We're talking about becoming a pet sitter or maybe hiring a pet sitter. If you don't want to send your dog or cat to a pet hotel, you can have somebody come over and look after your pets while you're gone.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people may be a little reluctant to do that because, hey, you're letting a stranger into your house and they're going to case the place, you know? They're going to tell their friends where they keep the money and how to open the locks and stuff like that. So I think some people may not really want to have a stranger come into their house, but others may not be too concerned about this, especially if the pet sitter is from a reputable company, and they can, of course, find out who gave the criminals this information pretty easily. But in any case, yeah, that's an extreme case, of course. Most people are okay having a pet sitter come over, and becoming a pet sitter could be an excellent option for those who are passionate about animals and already own pets themselves. This kind of describes my sister. She loves animals. She always had pets. When she was growing up, and also when she got married. I think she's down to 1 dog. Most of the other ones have died off. Or no, she's got 2 dogs now. But not a cat, because there's one of her dogs is not really friendly to cats, so she can't have cats at the same time. But in any case, if you're an animal lover, if you have pets, then this could be an excellent option for you because you're passionate about animals. You love animals very much. And of course, you already own pets yourself, and therefore you know a thing or two about taking care of them.
Right, and maybe you like to specialize in a certain type of animal. Maybe you just like dogs. You could also become a dog walker. You would only be exercising someone's pets. The owner probably is still in town if you're a dog walker. But you would just go and pick up the dogs at a certain time, take them for a little walk. Maybe you have dogs. You could take your own dogs at the same time. I've seen people in New York walk 10 dogs at the same time. I thought that was insane. But they can make good money if they have some wealthy clients. So that's another option. But here we're talking about watching all kinds of pets. It says here you might need the relevant background knowledge and skills. These are still vital, it says. Relevant means connected to whatever you're doing. So you might need a background where you can show people that you've worked at, I don't know, at a veterinarian hospital, or maybe a pet store, or maybe a pet grooming place where you've just had some experience with animals. If something's vital, guys, it just means it's necessary, it's essential. We all know that exercise is essential for keeping your body in shape and in good health. Well, you'll need some of this background knowledge and skills to really convince people to let you sit and take care of their pets.
Exactly. And of course, you need to have some background knowledge, of course, as it says here. Some people may be thinking, oh, how can this be difficult? All you got to do is go over to their house, feed the animal, take it for a walk, and you're done. No, it's probably not that easy. You probably need to know some things about animal psychology, and you need to know what to do if the dog tries to bite you, or if the cat tries to scratch you, or something like that. If the animals don't like you, you need to figure out what to do in that particular situation. So yes, indeed, you're going to need to have a certain amount of experience in this particular field. And while there are no specific certification requirements for pet sitters, some agencies offer training and courses such as animal CPR and animal first aid. So yeah, you can't really go to university and get a degree in this or some kind of certificate from a community college or something like that. There is really no specific certification requirements for this. You can become a pet sitter by being hired or just knowing how to do it yourself, but still we've got some agencies which offer training and courses. Now, an agency is a special kind of company that sort of acts as a go-between between a customer and a provider of services. Like, for example, travel agents work in travel agencies. They help people get tickets from airplane companies or airlines so that they can travel. So that's a person kind of in between those two people.
We also have advertising agencies who work with companies to come up with good advertisements and marketing plans. Those are often very popular. There's talent agents where they work for an agency that gets actors and performers in general jobs. Maybe you're a speaker. There are certain agencies that represent speakers. It could be in business or the arts or something like that. There are lots of different kinds of these agencies, and they could be a go-between, a client and a business, or it just could be a business or an organization that's established to provide some type of service. So, yeah, you might want to check out some of these agencies. They offer training and courses. Here's some of these courses that they might offer is animal CPR. CPR we usually do on people. CPR stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which means heart, lung, and restoring someone back to life if their heart has stopped, perhaps. They've stopped breathing. Or maybe they've lost consciousness and you get them to regain consciousness. So CPR for animals. I wonder if they have mouth-to-mouth on dogs or cats, Tom. I don't think I'd want to do that. But lately, we've been learning that CPR is best and most effective without actually doing mouth-to-mouth. You want to be hitting their heart and keeping their heart going. They tend to focus on that these days instead of mouth-to-mouth, which always seemed kind of gross to me, unless it's your family member that you're trying to save. Animal first aid, what would you do there?
Well, if the dog or cat gets cut or something, you need to maybe know how to give it stitches or things like that, put a Band-Aid on it. Sometimes, of course, animals like dogs have some sort of work done on them, and they just can't resist licking that wound, and they're not supposed to. So you got to put that. You got to put that kind of cone around its neck. So you're probably going to know how to do that. So all of those things would involve animal first aid in case they get injured or attacked by a neighbor's dog or something like that. You need to know what to do, and you need to know where to take the animal. If you can't give it the proper care and attention, if it really does get injured, maybe there was an earthquake and some of the books on the bookshelf fell onto the dog and kind of gave it a concussion or something like that. In that particular case, you're probably going to have to take the dog to the veterinarian for special treatment. But first aid, of course, is done when we get injured in a small way. Of course, you need to use first aid when you're hiking, for example, and you cut yourself while you're walking through a bamboo forest.
Or you get a blister on your heel or
like
somewhere
that.
on your foot. Yeah.
That's a good idea to bring a first aid kit with you when you go hiking. And maybe, I don't know, I guess if you're a pet sitter, you'd have to bring a first aid kit with you in case the animal gets injured. Now, moving on to the final paragraph here, it says, as the number of pet owners grows, so does the demand for skilled pet sitters. So yes, the number of pet owners is getting larger and larger, so therefore the demand for pet sitters is getting higher and higher as well.
Yeah, and a lot of people are deciding not to have real children, so their pets become their kids, and they're willing to spend a lot of money.
And they push them around in those strollers too.
I know, I keep stopping to look at a cute baby, and I see a dog, and I'm like, oh, are you kidding me?
And it's a poodle too.
And I always say to the owner, maybe you should let them exercise a little. But anyway, yeah, so the demand, there are more people looking for good, trustworthy, skilled pet sitters. It says here, as long as people continue to cherish their furry friends, pet sitting will continue to be a viable career option. Something's viable, it's something that works, can work out. So it's a viable career. It's a possible career that would be capable of being a successful career for someone. And if you cherish something, you love it so much. You can cherish people, of course, but you can also cherish things. I have a nephew who loves cars, and he pretty much cherishes his car. He's got this cute sports car. So you want to protect and care for things if you cherish them and you love them.
Right, so this might be a career for you if you like animals and if you cherish your furry friends. Hey, think about it. And you might actually make some money doing this.
Yeah.
Okay, this brings us to the end of our explanation for today. Let's turn things over now to our Chinese teacher.
当然，对于热爱动物的人来说，或者是拥有宠物的人来说，如果想要成为宠物保姆 pet sitter， 到底要怎么做呢？其实现在还没有什么特定证照的需求，不过还是有一些机构会提供训练课程啊，还有培训的课程，还有例如像是一些动物的心肺复苏术、动物的急救，这部分呢是有课程，但是还没有什么特定的证照。可是我们刚刚说的第三段呢，其实在第三句的地方，一开始句首的 while 可以特别拉出来，因为我们今天在文章当中特别针对第一段第三句的 while， 第二段第三句的 while 它都是 when 的意思，可是在这里句首也就是第三段第三句字首的 while 它是 although 的意思，还是连接词，但是它表让步。好，虽然没有特定的证照，但是有 training courses 可以去上哦。接下来我们到了第四段，看到一个很重要的句型。第四段的第一句，首先我们先把前面的第一个字 because 这边可以圈起来，在英文当中，我们先判断一下这里的 because 它是不是连接词。当我们看到后面有动词 grow 的时候，就表示这里的 as 是一个连接词。连接词后面加句子，但是 as 当连接词会有三种不同的意思：一 because， 二 when， 三如同好像。根据上下文的文意，在这里的 as 应该是表原因的 because， 就是因为 pet owners 越来越多。好，另外呢，还有一个要注意的地方，我们看到的 the number of pet owners， the number 指的是那一个数字，所以它是被视为单数。宠物的人数增加，所以后面的动词 grow 要加 s。再来后面的 逗点之后的 so 复习一下，国中的时候我们有说过，它是肯定的也。但是如果 so 放在逗点之后这个句子前面的句首的时候，它会形成倒装，所以我们会看到助动词的 does 放在主词前面。那当然，这个宠物保姆是一个新兴行业，如果大家对于这个行业有兴趣的话，也可以不妨考虑看看哦。以上是我们今天内容，我是安娜，我们下次见。
That's all for today, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. And hey, you might consider a career as a pet sitter or at least as a part-time job while you're trying to work your way through college. From all of us here at English Digest, my name is Tom.
I'm Stephanie.
Goodbye.
Bye.